Hello, everyone. Welcome for another Alicia Unleashed today. Hey, Jalem, how are you doing?
Hello, I'm great. Super excited for today.
Yeah, I mean, we have a special guest who is, I think, the first person which I've seen and witnessed being very tricked in real time during the TwitchCon. And so she's basically the master of chaos and on a lot of different RPG and cards games. Today we are receiving with us GhostArya. So welcome in, GhostArya. How are you doing?
Hello. I'm doing well. How are you?
Doing good. Yeah, I've already...
I was hoping you wouldn't mention my Twitch fiasco, but yeah.
Yeah, obviously I started with that, but we will come back to it, I'm pretty sure. But for us, it was something special that you had this trick. So we can see there is...
It was definitely special.
It was. And we already have a lot of people coming here today, so welcome everyone. I can see some familiar faces, Fun Family Gaming, Lionheart, obviously. I wouldn't have imagined this podcast without you being there. So I can see Fighting CB, so everyone welcome, and Waxy Legends. And we don't have any subtitles, sorry. I should have thought about that. But yeah, for the next one, I'm sure we'll add it. I'm very sorry we don't have that today. But yeah, welcome in. So today it's, I think, the first edition where we changed a bit the format, which you will be going through for the first time. But no worries, we'll go through the classic one to discover a bit more who you are, what you do, how you can become a streamer, and yeah, basically all about you. That's kind of the purpose. So yeah, we'll be most probably starting with a quick question on what you do besides streaming. So who basically you are, if you want to introduce a bit yourself.
Okay, so I'm actually not called Arya. My real name's Christina. That's a good start, because a lot of people think I'm Arya and then they call me that in real life, and that is a bit confusing. But other than that, I've been streaming for 3 years, and outside of streaming, it's now an interesting mix. Because I used to be a therapist. I worked in mental health for years, and now I've moved to UK, and now I work at McDonald's.
Which you might be doing some mental health report there for the employee. So, and that's something we had in common. I've worked at McDonald's as well for quite a bit. Which, to be honest,
go. Wow.
I enjoyed. It was fun. So not a lot of people, enjoy it, but I think it's fun.
I'm loving it, you know.
Using the exact mantras. And so you said you moved to UK. Is there like a specific reason why you decided to move to UK? Besides someone in chat, but is there any other reason?
Not really, no. We moved so that we can live together with my husband, Lionheart, in chat. And because of the lovely reality of visas and stuff like that, it just wasn't possible for us to move elsewhere. So here I am in rainy Britain.
Yeah. I was about like, if you said it was for the weather, I wouldn't have to trust you. So, I mean, I don't know how the weather is.
Fair,
yeah.
I am now much closer to sea than when I was in Czechia. And like Czech people have this weird fixation on sea because we're a landlocked country. So whenever we get close to sea, we get really excited. So I'm excited by the British Sea now. I'm like, I could be on the beach.
I don't know, and I'm not asking you to disclose that, but we're basically in London, and I've been seeing the sea maybe twice in 6 years, where I used to be very close to the sea. So I don't know how close you are to the sea, but yeah.
We're not close, but I will make it a day trip to see the sea. Okay. That's how excited I am, you know.
Yeah. And is there a reason why you can't be a therapist in the UK? Or is it because you wanted to change?
It's a little bit of both. Equally, it's a difficult to get into new country, so I just wanted to get into a routine and have a job. And the job market in the UK is crazy right now, so it was just. And equally, being a therapist here is a bit complicated because of all of the trainings and qualifications not necessarily transfer the way I would like to. But then I was told I'm overqualified for the jobs that I was applied for. So it was a bit of a... So you want somebody with experience, but not too much experience. So,
Yeah. So okay, I mix up both because one of the thing I wanted to ask you is what was the kind of motivation of becoming a therapist? Was there like a specific interest in the beginning, or?
Honestly, it's kind of... I think I was really lucky because I remember till this day when I was in high school applying for unis, I found randomly a degree in addiction science. And I went around, because I was at boarding school, I was around the dorm and I asked my classmates, like, do you think I would be a good fit for a person treating addictions? And they all looked at me and they went like, yeah, you would be good at that. And that was it. I applied. I was like, yeah, we're going for it. Because I liked working with people. I wanted to do medicine, maybe something similar. But then it was literally one evening, I was like, yeah, that's gonna be it. That's the shit. So, and I was really lucky. I picked well.
Yeah.
Did my master's in it. There we are.
And it worked. It's funny because on the like specifically live streaming, there is a part where you're doing some sort of support for also people watching you. But there is kind of a mental, I wouldn't say therapy, but a mental support that you're providing. So it stays kind of in this bubble. So.
Yeah, 'cause you're still interacting with people and creating a community, so it's very transferable. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And so after, when did you move to UK? I mean, not permanently, but because I think you moved permanently after, or when was it?
I moved this December, so this Christmas.
Yeah.
And the year before, we were just traveling in between Czechia and UK. I flew 30 times last year. 30 separate flights.
Okay.
And my husband did, I think, double that. So I don't even know where I lived last year because it was probably in Frankfurt airport, honestly.
Yeah, okay. And since you moved, I mean, completely, I mean, would you say that beside the sea, is the UK living up to what you were expecting, or is that something different?
Oh, that's difficult. In many ways, it is exactly what I thought it would be.
Is that good or not? The question.
That's up to you to decide.
Okay. Yeah.
Now, I would say, you lived in France before, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know how French are with like small talk, but I feel like French people are also like perceived as a little more close and a little rude almost. And I think Czech people are really masters of minimal contact, no small talk. We don't want to interact with other people, right? So when you go shopping in Czechia, you get asked, back, card, buy. It's 3 words that you need, nothing else. And when I moved to UK, that was my biggest fear, that people will want to talk, and they do. I go do anything, and they're like, "You all right there, love?" Oh, yeah. And I'm like, "Yeah, you." So on multiple occasions, I've just replied, "Yeah, you," to things that were not relevant, but that's just what I do. Yeah, you. Yeah.
I think it's a fairly common thing. Just the first time I moved to UK, I think was 2014, was just for a month there, and it was a security guy at the entrance of Sainsbury. And the way it was in the north, it was in Leeds, and the way they were saying hi, basically the guy said, "How are you?" And I stopped and say, "I'm doing good. How are you?" And the guy looked at me and did say nothing, and I was like, "Fuck, I don't know what's happening there." So, but I wanted to be polite, you know. I didn't know, so, but I was fairly stupid. I think the guy was like, "What? Oh, okay." Well, yeah.
But why did you ask if you don't want the answer?
But I think in French we do the same. Like to say hello, you would say "ça va," and it's but you want to answer. I feel
you would. Yeah.
It's a tricky thing. And do you think you would be doing an expatriation? Like if you think about 10 years ago, do you think you would have been doing an expatriation from Czech Republic to any other country? Thank you for the follow, Visbia.
I don't honestly know. I think 10 years ago, I was still a teenager 10 years ago, and I didn't know what's happening in life. So I never really planned that far ahead. And honestly, if you asked me 2 years ago, I had no clue that I'm gonna be moving. So things just kind of happen in my life, to be fair.
Okay. And so you didn't really have like any plan of traveling much or being like even for a few months or something like this abroad. It was more like you went with the flow.
I think a part of it was my career, because when you decide to do mental health, it is very much locked into a specific country and specific language.
Yep.
Because let's be fair, how many more people speak Czech around the world? It's not the most popular language, right? And so I was very focused on getting my private practice going, doing a lot of like work related stuff. And I always wanted to travel, but it was more, maybe when I finally establish myself, I'll get to travel. So in that sense, I think this was a good change for me, honestly. It came in a good time.
Yeah. It's moving, that's what I call like moving with the flow, where actually it's kind of the best, where you don't have any plan, but good stuff can happen. So it's quite cool. And if you think about that and what you've achieved since like your young self, is there anything you would have loved to say to yourself, to your 20 years back self, that would be a great advice or something like this?
Oh wow, I would probably tell myself. Oh, that's a big question, isn't it? In a way,
it is.
I don't know. I think I would go for. I would advise myself to not work that hard. Honestly, because I feel like when I was younger, I would put a lot of emphasis how other people see me or how they value my work. And I would have now just focused more on myself, on the things I like.
That's a cool one.
Because you're not getting paid for working harder.
No, neither worrying. So it's usually better not to. So
Exactly.
And in that time, so if there was one specific like mistakes that you've done, but that kind of was a trigger point that helped you to move on or to make the good choice in your life later, what was the mistakes and how did you overcome it?
Wow. I don't know, because I feel like for a lot of us, COVID was a really difficult time.
Yeah.
And I feel like COVID really was the breaking point for me as well, because I was just finishing my master's. Which was really awkward when the last half a year of my master's suddenly became online. So that was the worst timing, because it's really, nobody knew how to do it. Nobody really knew how long it's gonna last for. And I remember then I had a summer holiday because I was gonna do my final exams in September, because I missed the deadline in June. And I went climbing because I used to rock climb.
Okay.
I fell and I broke my elbow. And that was 3 days before my final exam. And that was about 2 weeks after I started streaming. And I came home to stream with the broken elbow. Literally had like a, I don't know how to call it, a little, scarf. And I remember telling Chad, like, oh, don't worry, it's definitely not broken. I'm not feeling... There's no pain. Don't worry about it. And Chad was like, maybe you should go check that out. Like, no. I am doing my final exams on Wednesday. Nothing can stop me. Well, I woke up the next day and I had to go to hospital. And they were like, you're getting a surgery in 2 days.
Oh, no. Okay.
I'm like, no, I can't be having surgery in 2 days. That's where my final exams are. And they're like, well, we don't really care. Get in here. So, and I feel like that time, and when I then went home after the surgery, because of COVID, they postponed my second surgery by a year. And that whole year was really tough for me because I felt like I can't really do much. I'm waiting for a surgery. It was very like a limbo state.
Yeah.
And I feel like now that it wasn't a mistake per se, but I feel like I really got stuck in that time and in the mindset of I can't do things. And I think it was a combination of COVID, having a broken elbow. I literally couldn't move my left arm. My master's being kind of, is it done? Is it not done? I had to wait another half a year to finish it. And that mindset of I am limited by something really wasn't helpful. And I feel like it made me stay in a job that I didn't like, in a relationship I should not have stayed in. But I think COVID really did that for a lot of us. I overcame it eventually by realizing that I'm really not doing anything but working and really focusing just on work. And then I was like, I'm not really, I really shouldn't be doing this. And then I also met my current husband. And I was like, oh my God, people actually I like talking people. I like people. That's great. And so yeah, that was a long answer, but hopefully you got the message out of it.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. And out of curiosity, what was the second surgery for? Because if you had the first one, did they put any screw or?
Yeah, they put a screws and a wires all the way down my arm. And they were like, oh, it's going to be in there for 2 months, then we'll remove it. And they were like, oh, not 2 months, because we're not doing surgeries. And then, and then surprisingly, they told me we're not doing surgeries over summer. And I just looked at them like...
It's a weird statement.
Do you guys just all go on holiday? And I'm just supposed to stay
All surgeons are, going to Caribbean islands, so there is no surgery.
If you need something, wait for September. Bye bye.
Good luck with that. So,
yeah.
And so on a different topic, but if you, and I know you're not planning much ahead, you're kind of going with the flow, but if you had to think about so now that you've moved to UK and with Lionheart, is there any plan on moving again or having different plans in the UK, doing building something else? I don't know. Do you have any future big plans going on or?
Well, currently I would like to get to a point where I can, because I need to be here for 5 or 6 years to get the indefinite leave to remain.
Yep.
And that would be a really nice point to be in, so I don't have to worry about more visas.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of a good point for us to also think about, are we staying longer, or are we possibly looking into moving back to Prague or somewhere else? Because I love Prague, I love Czechia. But I think 5 to 6 years is a good amount of time for Matt to try and learn Czech.
Yeah. At least.
The basics, he could get there in 5 years.
He has a teacher at home, so it helps.
It does. But it also doesn't, because I'm very strict. So I'm like, I can't have you speak broken Czech. And he's like, oh my God. So I think right now it's I really want to just get settled in, learn how to drive on the other side of the road.
How is that going?
That's not going well.
Okay. Took me a while, but you get there. You'll get there.
Sure, I'm considering biking. A lot of works now go cycle to work scheme. I'm like,
yeah.
you know what? That sounds great.
I'm down for that. Yeah, now it's more like, where can I just walk? Like anything else is not an option. So yeah.
Sadly, UK is really built around cars. They don't really walk anywhere, it seems. London is a bit different, I guess, right?
Yeah, in London you can walk fairly easily, I'd say. But I haven't been much beside Leeds, which is not a great. I mean, I don't want to create enemies or anything, but Leeds is not really the city that I'd like to live in. That's the only thing I'm going to say. And I will now shut up.
Now the chat will be like, what do you mean?
Exactly. No. I mean, it's just, you have to have a car if you really want to do stuff and you're not living exactly in the center. So, yeah. Really. And, sorry, I'm getting some notification on performance issues. I don't know if the stream is going well or not. It seems
like it is. On my second screen, everything seems fine.
Okay, perfect. I got like a lot of issues recently, so that's why I wanted to double check. You're okay. Leeds is a dump. Yep. Okay, perfect. Okay, no issues. Perfect, that's good. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting notification of not performing or internet issues.
I had the same.
You had the same.
Earlier, so.
Okay, perfect. Cool.
I think it's Twitch. Being Twitch, honestly.
Yeah, as usual. And I think, Jalab, you have something for us, right?
Yes, yes. As we said, we're trying stuff, so you're kind of going through the crash test with us. So I've prepared a couple of funny questions.
Okay.
Well, there is no right or wrong answers. It's your answers. So let's start with the first one. It's like, would you rather kind of questions. So would you rather have a stream where your audio is out of sync or where your video is pixelated?
Pixelated video.
Okay.
I'd say it's a good answer.
I would have said the same.
Yeah, everyone.
Well, we say there is no right or wrong answer, of course.
But this is the right answer, yes.
This is the right answer.
I love that. There is no right or wrong, but this one is right.
Okay. Would you rather have a flying carpet that can drive everywhere and there is no fly it left or fly it right? Or a teleportation device that only works half of the time?
No, flying carpet. After the discussion about driving, I'll take the flying carpet. Yeah.
That's a good one.
Okay. Yeah, I think, well, I like the idea of flying, so I'm happy with it.
No right and wrong, right?
Of course.
No pressure, no judgments.
On average, it would be faster, right? If half of the time the teleportation doesn't work, if I just fly there, on average, I'm there quicker.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you consider that it's working half of the time, you teleport once, it doesn't work, then you teleport again, and it works.
Ah, okay.
I mean, that would be my thought behind it. But
Yeah, you can just keep pressing. Yeah, okay.
He didn't put any like constraints, so unless there is one, and it's like kind of the devil contracts.
That's why I don't play that kind of game with Yuba, because he gets annoying all the time.
I do.
Okay. Would you rather be forced to play with a broken controller, like for a whole stream, or have your internet connection constantly drop whenever you're doing something really nice during your game?
I will always take the controller, because I had the internet issues are just the worst. So I would rather have a broken controller than internet issues, always.
Internet is crucial. No right and wrong again. I love how basically there is such a judgment moment after you answer. It's like, yes, that was the right one. We all agree on this one.
It's like, approved. It's like in Baldur's Gate, everybody liked this.
Yeah.
Well, that's a perfect cue for the next one. So, would you rather live in the Baldur's Gate 3 world or the Witcher world?
Who am I in those worlds?
I mean, you're the same kind of character in both. Like,
Oh no. I will have to go for Witcher. Yeah.
okay.
We'll see
Because-
if chat agrees.
Let's see what Chad thinks. Yeah. Baldur's Gate is great. But I feel like I would just die way too quickly.
Fair enough. Well, and not in Witcher world.
Well, depends. If I'm Geralt, that's good. If I'm like some sort of sorceress, also nice. And if I'm just a peasant, I feel like if I'm a peasant in Witcher 3 world, or any Witcher world, it's more likely that I'll live my whole life, that's 20 years, and then I die of plague, but in a village, not being bothered by anybody. But I feel like in Baldur's Gate, there's a high chance that, somebody just blows up and I die, and then that's it. So I feel like I could live my life in peace in Witcher world.
Fair enough.
Okay. Well, let's do the last one then. Would you rather be the only person knowing Gwent, or would you rather have every person you talk to offer you to play a round of Gwent before any further interaction?
Round of Gwent, obviously. Yeah.
On this
There's
one,
no other answer.
on this one here, actually have to explain what it was, because we were like reviewing those questions. I was like, I don't get it. It looks to me like in Pokemon world, where whatever you do, you get interrupted for. Yeah, whatever you do, you have to battles on a Pokemon. Explain me, it's kind of a bit similar. So, and this is where I'm saying that I didn't play as a Witcher. So,
How dare you?
sorry.
How very dare you? When are you fixing that?
I tried like a while back and didn't find the time. And the main problem is it's a type of game where I think you have to play for at least 10 hours in a short amount of time if you want to stick in. But if you find just like 2 hours to play and then you don't play for a week and you come back to it, everything is kind of weird and lost, and just happens to many games actually which I wanted to play, but always you got those 2 hours and then you can't play for a week, and when you play you're like, oh shit, I don't know what happened.
You lose the thread and you're like, what was I doing here? Yeah, okay, I get it.
So
Fix it then.
yeah.
Like take
Sorry.
time off. Like
Sorry, fix it now. Okay. I'll find the time. Sorry.
there's no excuse. Come on. No, in The Witcher 3, a lot of the times you could play Gwent and that would solve the quest for you effectively. So that was a good time, yeah.
Yeah. If you win, I guess.
Obviously, yeah.
So
I'm already trying to make Yuba play Skyrim, which is...
one happened. No, there is a part where, and that I'm going to have enemies again. I'm sorry. I'm not a huge fan of medieval, so everything that's in that area, I'm kind of not super into it, and so I really have to force myself. And for example, a series which is well known, like Game of Thrones, people had to battle a lot to make me watch it. And when I finally watched the first 3 episodes, I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I went all in and just loved it. But the thing is, we don't talk about the last season, but it's it's just like, I would have never started this myself because it's a medieval time. And I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't.
So what I'm hearing is that you need a week off to play Witcher and Skyrim, because if you don't stop, you will start liking it.
Exactly, that's kind of the thing. So I will have to be forced to play those. But And actually, if you take that, The Witcher is about like 100 hours if you want to play the game properly. And you have Skyrim, which I have no idea, but I would expect at least 40 hours.
I feel like Skyrim is more open-ended. You could rush through Skyrim in 40 hours. You could spend your whole life there and mod it forever, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, it would be most probably more than a week if you count then. Because 140 hours would need at least 2 or 3 weeks if I want to be able to eat and sleep.
See, we're already forming a plan now. It's a 3-week vacation. There you go.
Great. Okay, that's settled in. So, Jill, I'm going to take the next 3 weeks off. I'm sure you'll enjoy that.
I love the idea.
Maybe everybody can do it, and that sounds good. Yeah, okay.
I'm missing stuff. Oh, thank you, Daddy. Sorry, that's weird. But thank you for the follow.
Oh, is that Daddy Hoggy? Aww.
Yeah, Daddy Hoggy. And thank you, Andy. Yeah. Or no sleep. Yeah, that works too, but I'm not sure how good of a player I will be after that. After 2 days, I think I will need way more than 100 hours to finish The Witcher if I'm not sleeping.
Yeah. I always get that, I'll just play longer and, get less sleep, and then it's 2 a.m. and I'm like, but I still want to play.
Yeah.
But I can't. So yeah.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's dragging you out of sleep, and when you stop playing, usually it's when you can't really sleep well, because it's kind of moved and shift everything around, and you just think of the game. I do that.
Then you dream about the game.
Yeah, I do that with a very non-fun game if you want, but it's so it's City Skylines or city builder games. When I go to sleep after playing hours of it, I'm just like seeing the roads, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's a traffic jam. I should put that here. In the morning, I'm like, I didn't really sleep. I was just working. That's basically it. That was kind of fun. Anyway,
when I first started streaming, I would then stream from sleep. And like I think it was like first month or so, I just could, because I would usually stream after work, right? So it was like maybe 8 p.m. to midnight. Then I would go to sleep, in 15 minutes after I finished stream, I would go straight to bed. Yeah. And I remember waking up and being like, can you guys hear me? Is everything literally just I had such vivid dreams about chat not hearing me or something. It was horrible because it was like, did I turn off the stream? Is everything okay? It was so bad. It literally took me a few weeks for my brain to just go okay, don't worry, you're not live.
Yeah. It was, I think, was the first, when I started streaming the first time, I started to get worried about being live when I was doing something else. You go in the kitchen and you do this, and you're specifically in the morning, when I was, kind of waking up, I was worried about, being live somewhere. And that was just weird. It went away very quickly, but for a week I was kind of, weird.
It is a weird, you get, it's like a new experience, right, when you start streaming, because it's such a... When you think about it, you're just sat in a room talking to yourself.
Yeah. It's a good link on the third section, which is about your life as a content creator. So one of the question was about when you started streaming, and obviously I kind of spied a bit on the different platforms to try to see that. So I would say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, but it was August 2020. When you started streaming. That was, and you started streaming kind of seriously with quite a lot of hours put in during that time, maybe before you start to break your elbow. But so, and I was wondering, so what was the trigger point for you starting streaming?
Well, like many things in my life, I didn't quite plan it out. It was COVID times, right? 2020. And I had not a lot of free time, but more free time than before. And it was just, I always kind of wanted to do either YouTube or something, because I grew up with people, with internet being a new thing. So it was always something that I was kind of looking up to. And I was just like, well, you know what? Let's stream. And I went into streaming without ever being on Twitch before. I've never watched Twitch before. And without any knowledge. Like, literally, I was watching one of those, like, top 10 tips on streaming as I finished my first stream. And it was just you know what? I need a project. I need to have something to do. And this is always... Gaming was always my passion. So I went, you know what? Let's put 2 and 2 together, give it a try. And I picked Gwent because it was, at the time, was a category that had a good viewership. I always liked Gwent. I liked The Witcher, so it felt like a nice match. And it just went well, surprisingly. Like, it literally could not have been less prepared, but it went well.
That's really good. And on the video you've seen for the top 10 tips and tricks, I think Watch was probably one of the same video at the time, because we started about the same time. I started in July, and I remember one specific advice, and I don't know if you tried it yourself, but it was talking to yourself and commenting what you were doing in real life. No, you didn't heard that.
I don't remember that.
It was a weirder thing, but I started to comment. You know, when you do coffee, you're like, I'm now like grinding the coffee, and so I'm going to, and you just comment what you're doing, and so that's kind of preparing to talk too much on stream. That's kind of what it is.
It is, yeah, because I feel like you really have to start doing that, and it's such an unusual thing. But I always had inner dialogue, or monologue, to be fair. Dialogue occasionally, you know? And I'm kind of used to just going like, Christina, you know, let's go make coffee. So I always comment.
Yeah.
Why, like, I have a very talkative mind, you could say. So it wasn't new to me. It's just now somebody was listening to it.
Yeah, no, I have a question on that one, because I've seen multiple times, and I don't know if it's true or not, but you might have the answer. There is some people that apparently doesn't talk to themselves in their mind. Is that something that it's true, or? I mean, I don't know. Even I should have asked you, Jalab, if you talk to yourself in your mind.
I talk to myself way too much.
Oh yeah, okay. So I think three of us, we are talking to ourselves, and Visipa as well in the chat. But I know that there is a category of population that actually don't.
Yeah.
And I'm fascinated by it, like how it works. Because I have to talk to myself. I don't know. I would feel so alone. No. But I mean, it's the only thing that kind of, you know, drive you in a sense, like to do things. It's you have to, I don't know. I don't understand how it works for people that doesn't have this little narrator.
It's because a part of my job as a therapist, when I used to do it, is also understanding how other people think. And it's really interesting that some people think in images, or like almost like in the video images when just things appear. But did you know there are also people who physically cannot imagine things?
Yeah, I've heard that. Like, if you ask them for an apple, they can't visualize the apple.
Yeah. They will see the word apple written, but some people can see like apple.
Yeah.
And if you say, oh, imagine a green apple, it will change into a green apple. So some people just have subtitles to things, or will see like just written things. Some people just don't have anything at all. It's really strange. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's a kind of thing that brings my mind every time. So I'm like, it's interesting, and it's working very, very well for everyone. It's just the big thing would be, would you be able to change your mind? Not change your mind, but, you know, just for an experiment. Now, someone who doesn't talk to themselves and can't basically visualize item, swap to someone that can and visualize item. What would it be like? You wouldn't be able to actually function normally. That would be so weird.
Yeah. I think it would be very overwhelming if you suddenly completely switch how you think, yeah?
Yeah. Anyway, it's just I like this type of conversation. It's the next question was something you already answered. It's basically the fact that did you have a plan? Obviously not. So, and the other thing, but I think it would be more about what happened after. So when you started streaming, you spent, let's say, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Did you at some point settled and just think, okay, this is what I do, I like this, but what I want to do is more this, or what my plan on Twitch would be this? Did you start to draft something, or were you just, again, going with the flow and see if it works?
No, I think I then had like a goal of I want to really stream at least twice a week, 3 times a week, have a schedule. I also got really lucky, and I think about 2 months in, I got raided by CDPR. So it's like, oh, I guess now we're just doing Gwent, because I was like, I think they raided with like 4,000 people at the time when I had like 10 viewers. So I was like, well, we're a Gwent stream now forever. So that was just one of the things when you're like, yeah, that's the content I'm gonna do. And honestly, the community in Gwent was really good. And then I joined like an esports team. I met a lot of people who were very active at the time, so it was really easy to stay with the community and streaming it, because it felt like something was constantly happening and I was learning stuff. So that honestly, then I just stick to 3 streams a week-ish for as long as I could. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and the schedule is something I think that came up most of the time. Most important element for when you're streaming is having a schedule. So, good point.
I feel like it is really, because I often think about streamers, for when people watch you as a streamer, it's almost like if they're watching a TV show, right? So it's like, oh, when I'm at work, I just turn this on, or on Wednesdays, I'm watching Game of Thrones, or it's a similar, or at least I think so, a similar idea, principle. So if you stick to your schedule, then people can be like, oh yeah, on Wednesday evenings, I'm actually watching Gwent or watching City Skylines. And if you're not there as a streamer, then they will watch somebody else and create a new habit. So you're like, oh, actually, Arya wasn't live, so I went to watch Lionheart, and he's much better. And now I'm just gonna be watching him instead. It's really important to have one.
Yeah, and the following up on something you told me offline before the podcast, but do you think that your experience on TV before helped you as well to kind of feel maybe more natural on Twitch?
I think maybe in a way, yes, but I think so. Yeah, in the sense that I was kind of able to answer whatever chat comes with, because a lot of the times people come in and say random stuff.
Yeah.
But I feel like I needed more confidence as a streamer to also be able to set my own boundaries. When I look at like my old clips, I feel like I was very much like a timid, yes, of course, yeah, no worries. And that, and like, I'm so sorry about this and that. And after a while, I was like, no, this is my stream. And if you're, being weird, you can get out. Like, and that confidence came with time and the realization of, actually, this is my space. I'm no longer on somebody's show, but this is my show, and I have to control it, right?
Yeah. It's actually a very good point. Like, this is your space, and that's a whole beauty of Twitch. So it's definitely something. And actually, how was your the first time you went live, and you pressed live? What happened? How it was for your stream, but also for yourself? How did you feel about the whole thing?
The very first time I went live was, I think, about a month before I then tried it again, because it was like a test stream to see if my PC can even handle it. And I played Half-Life 2 without a camera. It was just literally Half-Life 2, me on a mic, trying to not die because I was really afraid. I don't know why I picked that game to test it, because I was so scared of Life, and it was. And somebody even came in the chat, like somebody was chatting, but I didn't know what to say. It was so weird because I was like, I don't know what to talk about. This really feels awkward.
Yeah.
What am I doing? And which then, to be fair, led to the decision of I need something else if I really want to do this. That was a bit of planning on my side, because Gwent is much easier to comment because there's constantly something happening and you can talk about your decisions, right?
Yeah.
So the very first stream, I felt really shy, even though people couldn't see me because I didn't have a camera on, and it was so it was just surreal because I was like, oh my god, where is it happening? And my life, is it actually, it was really strange. I think it was really interesting.
Yeah. Did you keep the recording of the stream?
No, I didn't.
So it's always something I'm thinking, like, does anyone keep their first, the first stream they've done, and see, like, you watch it 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, and you can see the huge difference that happened through your journey as a content creator there. So
I kept I think the first 20 streams of Gwent. I kept those, so that's actually a good idea. I might have a look at them if I can manage the amount of cringe that I'll internally feel.
It's the worst part. What I would tell you is get an editor, like someone who can make a video. You just say, like, do a best of the old one, and so you can get 5-10 minutes video of your 21st streams, and that you can watch, because when it's edited, it's something that much easier to watch. So
yeah, yeah, sure.
And it would be fun. I'm sure your community would like it as well. Like checking the the first month of GhostArya on Twitch. It could be like a 5-year anniversary type of things.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It might take me a few years to muster the courage to look at those recordings. So yeah.
that's the key. You don't look at it. You just send them over to someone else, and you just get the results.
And then I never watch the results either.
Yeah. You can just send it over to other people. Like, yeah, here you go. That's done.
Sounds good. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And so when you started to look more into being regular, having your schedule, and being really into streaming, which I think, and you correct me if I'm wrong as well, you had 2 years full time really, the first 2 years, then in 2022 a bit lighter, and then came back. Or I'm wrong? No,
because 2020 August is where I started, and I was always doing the 3 to 2 streams a week. Okay. Basically,
never
while
stopped.
Also working, yeah.
Okay. So I got the wrong info. And so how did that impact because obviously before that you had habits which didn't include streaming. You had your life beside that. How did that change, and how was the impact overall?
I think because I then became very used to the schedule, and it just became another thing that I do. I think the most awkward part is explaining to other people why you're not free. It's because I used to stream, I think it was Monday, Friday, Sunday, something like that. And then my friends are like, oh, we're doing this on Friday. And I'm like, well, I gotta be home at 8, and they're like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm streaming. What? You're sitting at home in front of a computer playing video games. I'm like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And people watch me.
And people watch me do it. And they're like, what? So that because if I said I'm going to the gym, everybody would be like, yeah, good for you. But when you say you're streaming, especially in my generation, not that many people know.
No.
And it was just like, are you serious? And I remember my mum being very concerned. She was like, "Oh, but are you gonna stop working? And are you sure about this?" I'm like, "It's fine, Mum. Don't worry." She's like, "Oh well, I'm not sure you should be doing this."
Yeah, it's a vision. I remember, like in Friends, for example, it was a big thing for a time where all the normal news and TV shows were just laughing about streamers. Like, there is people watching other people playing video games. And they were all like a full, TV show, everyone laughing, like, how stupid this is. And you're like, what? And kind of contribute to this weird vision of what streaming is and why we do it. So.
Yeah, but I feel like that has changed with now, like, TikTok being more popular and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's now interesting that I feel like I'm the older generation of streamer. Like, because I'm nearly 30, and a lot of people are streaming in this age, but then when I see creators on TikTok, we're not doing the same streaming, or at least I don't see, like, I feel like I'm like almost like an old school streamer that actually goes sit down, play the game, and now there's like a whole new meta of streaming that I'm just not following, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny to check specifically the ages on Twitch, which I think, and Jalab is better on numbers than me, but I think it's 35, right? The average age for streamers?
It's above 30. Yeah.
It's above 30.
Oh, that's nice.
So you're in the young part of Twitch streamers. Well done. When you look at like TikTok, it's different. I think YouTube is most probably about the same. And it's TikTok that brought like live streaming to like more of the younger generation, I think. Yeah. So that's definitely something. It's for the like, it's more of a general question, but specifically because you're more familiar, like we're kind of about to do the same thing as you were doing on TV show. But I'm going to ask you about like what's your take on the mental health or content creation industry and how basically it impacts how people talk about it. So yeah, I'm guessing you have some insights a bit more than us.
Hopefully, but maybe not. I feel like things are being talked about more, but equally, it's like one of the things that are really interesting for me are parasocial relationships. And I feel like nobody really talks about parasocial relationships to new streamers or even to viewers. I don't know. Have you heard the term before?
I have, but I wouldn't be able to explain it. So I think it would be good if you could.
I will hopefully explain it well.
Yeah.
But my understanding of it is that parasocial relationships happen when you create a relationship with somebody who you're not actually interacting with or not in a direct relationship. I think previously, a few generations ago, that could be with a singer that you really like, and you would post, have their posters up in the bedroom and follow everything they do, and you almost have a relationship with that person because you know so much about them. But the inequality in that is the important bit, right? You know everything about that singer, but they don't know you exist. But when you're streaming, that is different, because while you know a lot about the streamer, it's also specifically what the streamer wants you to know, but the streamer actually interacts with you. So imagine if that, Beyonce talked to you during you watching the video clip. So that's what makes it so weird, because suddenly the person that you watch also talks to you and therefore also knows about your existence. And that's what makes those parasocial relationships so different, but also still not quite real. And I feel like that's something that's just so difficult to distinguish and learn to navigate as a streamer and a viewer. Because then, of course, there are gonna be people who you become friends with, but are you friends with everybody who ever comes to your channel? No, you're not. Are you gonna invite them for lunch? Probably not, right? But With a regular who's been there for 5 years, maybe you want to meet up with them. It is so weird. It's just such a complex topic.
Yeah.
That
And
Yeah.
there is the kind of boundaries things where also for the viewer perspective, some people doesn't see what's the difference. Like if they've been watching you for ages and you interact with them through chats, at some point it's like, yeah, we're friends. But actually, maybe not. I mean, it's hard because on the streamer point, being I'd say honest about that means being seen also as very harsh and almost like rude, where it's actually not. It's just like it's not it's not, as you say, it's not like a relation which is two ways. It's there is, and it's very like raw in a sense, but it's a service which is being provided called entertainment, and then you have a consumer that's going to consume the entertainment, and so it's a service provider, and you're not I'd say in a close relationship with your restaurants.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. But that's also because there will be people who only maybe stream to their friends, and they don't mind that there's 3 or 4 people, and that's kind of all they want. They want to stream with their friends or for their friends, and therefore those streams will be very different. But it is also completely fine to say, oh, I'm actually trying to stream professionally, and then you are the entertainment, like you said, and people are effectively paying to watch you. So yeah, it is. But also, you need to be, as a streamer, you need to be somebody that can be approached. So you want to be nice and you want to make conversation. So where's the boundary, right?
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, and what I think about, like, specifically for streamers with any plans, there is currently not or very little support to help for that, where I think there is a lot of element that could be avoided if you're prepared for like leaving this type of exchange, or maybe, I mean, if you do know resources or help for that, that'd be great to share it. But I don't think it exists much.
No, I think there's going to be like a panel at TwitchCon, and a lot of like TwitchCon and even Gamescom. A lot of these places tend to have at least something about mental health, but I don't know if Twitch officially provides anything. And people try and talk about even like a streamer burned out, stuff like that, because it's really, I think people don't realize how much work is behind streaming and how difficult the anxiety of basically fear of missing out is. And when you mentioned the video, the 10 tips for beginning, right, when you begin streaming, I think one of the tips that I've heard was something like, you really want to be online as much as you can, because when you're not live, somebody else is.
Yeah,
And then
that's
you're
the
there like,
worst.
but I can't live. I can't be live all the time, can I? But then they tell you, oh, but Twitch has no discoverability, so when you're not live, nobody else will find you. And you're like, oh my god, I have to be live all the time. What do I do, right?
It's one of the central elements that we're trying to fight. It's a thing where, no, actually, there is a part where streaming or even content creation is, like the core of it is usually a passion that you want to share or something that you're creating. And so you put your soul and heart in what you're creating. And everything that is around streaming or around content creation is just saying, do more, produce more, be more, and just almost like, I would have said kill you, but not that, but burn yourself out to actually be the most of what you should be. And that is putting even more pressure on the content creator, saying that if you're not succeeding, it's because you're not doing enough. And that's the worst element, because with Alicia, it's even more terrible because or at least more visible, because we've seen and followed many content creators through the last year, and we actually like witnesses many different issues that are not being said or being talked about, and we can see like the source of what happens, and it's just like there is zero to little support, and there is even this weird thing about like, oh yeah, but you can get help if you ask, or no, but actually you can't, because that's also an element where you will be pointed out as someone who failed, and that's something that is very hard to move from, because obviously no one wants to be in this position, and not have the entire solution yet, but we'll be working on that. But, yeah.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because then you get if you're not live, then you should be doing content for YouTube, and you should be making that, and it's a very unachievable bar that's being set up, and it's just, I think it's really difficult in general, because like you said, people are then perceived as a failure, while, well, it really depends on why do you start streaming, what is the goal you want from streaming. If you just want to share your passion and be good at it in the way that you enjoy it and have fun, and that could be it. You don't need to have thousands and thousands of viewers, and I feel like you mentioned it really well. I feel like it then almost pushes everybody to be the same, or it's like you're getting squeezed into a formula of a content creator that's a specific thing and looks a specific way and does so much, and that can be so difficult, especially for younger people, or for people who maybe feel like this is the thing, like I'll make it, and that can be such a difficult mindset.
It's something also to explain, because a lot of people are releasing or at least visioning content creation where this is what I want to do and leave about. It's extremely hard. It's terribly hard, and it doesn't happen to a lot of people. There is a lot of work behind. It's complex, but I'm seeing more and more solution that would not require to be or to try to at least go to this frame and trying to achieve what's basically being told by the platforms and by like medias in general to reach, and more like, no, actually you can find your niche, you can enjoy this, and being able to still like live about your content and have maybe it's going to be a side hustle, but a small one that's going to fit in your content creation, that's going to help you survive about it, but you should be able to achieve it. It's just, what is more important, doing something that you like or doing the money that help you like for other things? So you have to make those decisions first before you go to one or the other direction. There is someone in chat, I don't know if he's still there, but end of the day, so he's he's director of a streamer network in France, and the idea is to be able to give the chance for smaller creators to be able to live off their content. So it's really into like trying to support like very modest creators to be able to actually, it's something that we'll be able to live from, and I think it's nice to see.
Oh, that's really nice.
Yeah, so that's one element.
Yeah, because equally, when then if streaming's your only source of income, then you need to stream.
Yeah.
And then suddenly it's no longer the passion that you wanted to do it for. It's, I need to be live, I need to be funny, and I need to do it for 6 hours straight, 4 times a week. And then it becomes the same job, like the job you probably left to be a streamer.
Yep.
So, and I think a lot of people don't realize that content creator, if you want to do it full time, is a job, and it's gotta have parts that you don't like, and maybe it's not for you. Right?
Yeah.
So it's completely fine to try and find that balance of, I'm streaming 2-3 times a week, and then I have, like you said, a side hustle or something else that I do on the side that keeps the income, and I don't have to feel like I'm forced to be live.
Yeah. It's and I think hopefully more kind of society are going to move to that direction. But for example, like having a 4-day week, which has been experimented in UK or in different country, hopefully, will allow content creators to actually have a new option in their life balance to be able to create great content, or give them at least a choice and the time to make that choice when they are building their kind of brand or themselves on a different platform. And yeah, hopefully, I mean, this is we will see with time, I guess. That was a loaded.
That would be good.
Topic.
That would be very nice.
There is one element which is going to mix a bit like both feelings, but so you've been streaming for about 4 years, right? Or intensively for 4 years. Do you remember like the greatest moment and the shittest moments? And would you like to share them?
I think like I'll start with the greatest moment, which definitely was actually not on my stream, but it was connected to streaming. It was this December when I got to cast the final masters for Gwent. Because casting, or like commentating, right? We were doing that on the official CDPR Pros channel, and we were doing it from Warsaw, from their studio. It was amazing. It was like that's a situation that I would have never been in if I didn't start streaming, and it was completely out of the world. I was like, I can't believe that I'm here. Because if you told me that when I started streaming, I would not have believed you. Because it was like a proper TV studio in like the Gwent tavern. It's like a medieval tavern with things happening live, with like a whole script, whole team. And it was just surreal. And I think that was really the best moment of streaming for me. Because it was so nice. It was just... The whole thing was beautiful, and I'm so glad that I got to do it. And that's really difficult to top it. And there are other things, like when I got, birthday wishes from Chad, or when they were really involved in our wedding. Chad helped me pick the table for our wedding, stuff like that. Those were really cute moments that I'm really happy that I got to experience. It was a big decision, okay? What kind of table is going to be under the altar? It was like 4 tables. They were all small, and Chad really helped out with that. So those were really nice moments when I feel like I've been able to create the community that I really wanted to. And the shittiest moments, that's difficult. I feel like I'm really good at dissociating, and shitty moments really go away from me after a while, because there's no use in keeping them in my memory. But a part of it would be like the technical issues, right? When something wasn't working, like either internet or my camera, those were streams where I got really frustrated more with myself, because it was like, I made this time and now I can't do it. And it makes me feel like a failure because I'm not able to live up to what I promised. Because I'm a very literal person. So when I say, I'll stream tomorrow, then I really want to stream tomorrow because I've said I'll stream. And what if that one person is waiting for me to go live? And then I really beat myself to it. I'm like, oh my god, I didn't do it, or I couldn't do it. I think those were the shittiest moments. I remember briefly that I had streams that felt really difficult occasionally. And that's more like interactions with people, especially, I feel like that's like maybe not, obviously not only, but as a female or like a woman online, sometimes the interactions are just not it. And sometimes you're just staring at the screen like, what's happening? And just having random people come into the stream and say not nice things, and you're just looking at the screen like which one of your parents didn't hug you enough when you were a kid that you do this to other people now? Come on, like just go away. And I think those were, especially in the beginning, the shittiest moments obviously I know they're trolls, and everybody tells you, oh, don't feed the trolls, but when you're actually the target, it's so difficult to not take it personally, right?
I mean, it's the same thing that parents would say, you know, when you're younger, and say, oh yeah, but if they pick on you, just laugh and so they will give up. I'm like, no, it doesn't work that way. It's, I mean, first, it doesn't work that way, actually. Like, it's not because you're not reacting or because you're just, like, ignoring that they will stop. And that has been fed through series, through parents, through morality in books and stuff like that. Oh yeah, if you go along, that's fine. No, it's not fine. It is not fine. It shouldn't happen. That's the main thing. But yeah, we actually, I mean, obviously we don't have that type of problem when I'm streaming, at least not for me. But we experienced that with someone else, and I was very, very surprised that happened. But someone very like stalking, and even now, like we got some comments and stuff like this on video, because that person is trying to reach out to someone else in the community, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? It's like the effort and energy that they are putting to do that. It's insane. So yeah. No.
Because like you said, like you can't go along with it because just laugh it off. Because effectively, the only thing you want is for people to be decent human beings, and I'm not gonna stand and pretend like
and it's
that's
not too much
what I want.
Yeah, and it's not too much to ask. The weird thing is just like, and again, it's weird that I'm talking about parents that much, but it's just because I see that generation, like about, you know, the one between 60s, 70s, that has been our parents, I guess. But they really had this feeling about, oh yeah, if there is bullies or someone picking on you, they're making jokes, but they really want to hurt you. So if you don't show that you've been hurt, it's going to go away. And you're like, actually, first, it doesn't work. Secondly, it's terrible because you have to work on hiding that type of feeling and, like, you know, cave them in for long term. And it's going to go up at some point. So yeah, I'm sure there is different solutions to do that, like better education. But it's definitely something that we shouldn't let just go on different platforms as well.
Yeah, so. And with that, there's like a concept that I really like to think about when I am faced with a decision whether to speak up about something or not. Because when I used to do group therapy or work with kids, a lot of the time the role of an adult or the therapist in the group therapy is somebody who sets new norms. So if the kids see me talking about my feelings, then they'll go, oh my god, that adult actually talks about being sad. Maybe I can also do that. So I feel like streamers, maybe unknowingly, have the same role. Because at least a few people are watching you, and you can be the new norm if you behave that way. So if you actually call out that person and say, oi, whatever you just did's not good, that's not fine, I'm not gonna respect that. You're creating a new norm, because the few people who see that go, oh wow, actually that's what I wish I could say, or wow, somebody else thinks the same. So you create, like you said, instead of going with it like the generations above us, you can actually change the perspective or change the opinion, right?
And by doing that, you also open the way for someone who is suffering for the similar things to actually reach out to you and say, hey, I'm actually having the problem, and I don't know how to do what you've done, but can we chat it out, like trying to find a solution, which is usually kind of the better way to approach that. So, and I love that you said oi. I love that. Oi. I love that expression.
My husband says it. Oi.
So, is it Scottish?
It's a
right?
very British thing, isn't it?
I don't think it's British. It's Scottish,
no?
right?
I think,
or Irish?
I don't know.
It's how I picture like older British people would react.
But you know the guy in the series The Boys. I don't know if you've watched it. He says "oi" constantly. And I've been in the UK for 6 years now, and I didn't see anyone saying "oi" beside that guy, and I heard and beside you, sorry. and the thing is, for me, he was Irish or Scottish, right? in the series, can't remember where he's from, but maybe. So yeah, we should ask Lionheart. So we should ask him where it's coming from. But yeah,
I'll ask him and see. But now you can use oi as well. See, now you go.
Oi.
I've seen Arya do it.
the thing is, if I use oi, I want to use oi in specific condition. You know, like you're basically bothering someone or whatever, like oi, and this, like, you know, that kind of oi. So I want to do that. I don't have like many case, you know, where not many people bother me that much in the street where I would be like, oi. So, yeah, but I like it.
We have to make Alicia say oi.
Yeah, you can, and I think it's with the Scottish version. Like, it's I need to try that. I'll figure that. Oh
There
yeah,
she
okay. Thank you, Betsy.
Oi, mate.
I was like, what? Oi, mates. So yeah, she says British footer, but yeah. Okay, anyway, it's yeah.
She picked it up quickly.
Yeah, she's good at it. So I'm looking at the time. So I try to. I know we have 35 minutes left, but quickly, if you had one advice that you would give yourself before you started streaming, so in 2020, now that you've had 4 years experience, what would it be?
Oh my god. One advice, quickly. Get good lighting early.
Yeah, I think good lighting it's a very good point. I've seen old clips, and yeah, good lighting is much better, definitely.
Yeah.
So I'm going through some questions very quickly to make sure that we covered it. For
No worries.
any content creator, just not yourself, but what do you think is the most important elements in streaming?
In the person, what's the most important elements, like in the content creator person, or
In streaming for content creators. So if you have any content creators that's listening to you, maybe in chat, if there is one thing they should be focusing on, what would it be?
oh wow, that's difficult because part of me wants to say the content, like just actually make content. You're not just there to sit there. You need to provide something extra. Like that's one advice that I agree with from the videos that I watched 4 years ago. You either have to be really good at the thing you're doing or be funny about it.
Yeah.
Like, just if you're neither, it's really tough. So have your niche, have the one thing, and actually provide that. And I think that's kind of the biggest advice, because then the secondary thing would be the technical stuff and the quality. But I think that can come after if you're really comfortable with what you're trying to produce.
Yeah. If your content, the core content is good, like the quality, you can always improve it.
Yeah.
So,
like, I've never said that I'm actually good at Gwent. I'm just funny about Gwent, or like, I like Gwent. I like funny Gwent. I'm not there to be the best at it, and that's fine.
Yeah, it's a good one, and I think so. We touched it a bit before, but so what is your story with Alicia? How did it started? I'll let you explain, so I'm not like putting you too much on the spot. But and I will add some elements maybe.
So I met you guys in Paris on TwitchCon, right? And I had I think I had about 2 hours of free time when Matt Lionheart was streaming for one of the companies. So I was going around all of the little things there and met Alicia. I thought it's really interesting because I have that interest into AI. I was like, oh my god, that's really cool. And because I really didn't want to forget about Alicia, I signed up right away on my phone. It's like, yeah, I'll do it. And at the time, you guys were offering like the free trial stream, right? But I didn't realize that triggers. Because I just signed up. I was like, haha, yes, amazing. About 2 hours later, I went to stream from TwitchCon for an indie company I was streaming for Fireshine. Completely forgotten about Alicia by that point, because that was the whole point of signing up early, so that I don't have to keep it in my mind. So I go live, very nervous, because it's the first time I'm streaming from a convention. You know, I'm like, oh my god, what if nobody shows up? It's gonna be really awkward. And I have somebody in the chat, and they're chatting. And they're called Alicia. It didn't click. It didn't click in my head at all. I was just excited that there's somebody who wants to speak to me. And Matt was watching me, and he knew it's Alicia, but he didn't want to tell me to not throw me off, right? Because I was visibly nervous. I was like, oh my god, so many things happening. And I think it took me like 40 minutes. Genuinely. I think it was that long. And then I realized, and I was like, oh, but what was I supposed to do about it then? I just... Oh god. So yeah, that's the story basically.
Yeah. And I remember you two coming back at the end of the day to tell us the story, which was just great. Literally, we loved it. And on top of that,
I think we can also tell the story from our point of view, because I think it's also interesting.
Oh yeah, true. Go on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because we right before TwitchCon, while we were setting up the booth, we realized, hey, we have no way of knowing if someone signs up and goes live with Alicia, and if people go live during the TwitchCon, it would be nice to be aware. And so we did some things to know, and so I get a notification if someone goes live from TwitchCon, kind of thing. And we saw you went live, and we're like, oh, GhostArya is live. She has Alicia on the chat. We need to check. So we had like a computer set somewhere where we opened the chat and said, is it going well?
We were super stressed.
To the booth. And so we checked and said, okay, I see message in the chat. Of course, we didn't have the sound because it was on the booth. So we just checking and said, yeah, it seems well. Like Alicia is talking, people are talking. Okay, it seems okay.
But Alicia did really well, she did amazingly on that stream, so
we were glad. I mean, it's always a thing when someone signed up, and specifically during that time where we were very not secure that it would be like working fine, or like it was kind of a big leap for us to be at the TwitchCon and having this as a product which was still very, very early stage, and yeah, so we were stressed for everyone signing up. It's just like everyone, oh yeah, great, we're very happy, and now you just like start stressing, like, oh, okay. But yeah, it was kind of
well, I'm glad you guys enjoyed it, and I after that I was like, well, now I have to have Alicia, because she's part of the community now, it is what it is.
That would be my next question, but how did actually it impact your stream to have Alicia joining after that TwitchCon?
I think my Alicia experience is still very tame. Like, I kind of have Alicia as a support almost. She's a support character for me, so she will say hi to people, occasionally like do something funny. I think in the beginning I definitely had like a group of people who were a bit freaked out by her. Like, is she a like an AI overlord? Is she gonna just like spy on us? Is this the future? Are we gonna and which I never even thought about, because I was just excited about. I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. And then over time, that just became a part of the stream. People now will, joke with Alicia, say, "Oh, how are you doing?" Sometimes she remembers like really random things or get fixated on a thing, and it's so good to see chat just go along with it, especially like when I'm playing more like story-based, story-focused games, because then I don't want to speak as much, or maybe there's a cutscene happening, and it's so good to see chat just being entertained by chatting to Alicia. So I feel like she has become a part of the, after a few trials and errors, and we tried, what was it, the Grim Reaper?
Yeah.
That was rough. That one was that one was an experience. But I think it's just a nice extra thing to have with the community. We had like a community challenge to add another role of Alicia. So I still wish because in my head, Alicia could be almost like a guardian of the chat. Sometimes she does it, like she'll say, "Let's keep things positive," but doesn't always land in the right moment. And I feel like she could be really good with that, with like keeping the boundaries, like we discussed previously, to help the streamer, so that you almost don't have to address it because Alicia does it. And sometimes she does, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it's still one of the things we want to like push forward at some point. We try to have like different things where I don't know if you've seen the slider with family friendly, normal, 18+, which is basically part of this element. We're not yet like 100% with this. Like we need to refine those elements, because the problem is family friendly, it's too much. Like if someone is going there, it's going like really you have to be like speaking nice, like you can't talk about bad subject, so she's too much. And in a normal way she will still like let some elements slip away. So that's kind of a thing that we're looking into. But on the support
like
stage,
finding the balance. Yeah,
exactly.
You don't want an overly protective Alicia, because then it becomes very boring.
Yeah. We've seen example with that, like some topics which would be like you want to still be able to freely chat, that's a thing, but you want the detection to know what happens. So
yeah. So Alicia really, I feel like a lot of the time Alicia becomes the thing that's easy for me to talk about. Like when there's not much happening, like we talk, you need to constantly talk as a streamer. And Alicia sometimes is a saving grace, because she says something funny and I'm like, great, amazing. I can just talk about what Alicia did. And now I have something to talk about. So that's really good as well,
Yeah. Helps a lot on the kind of almost co-animation for that, where you can just bounce back on it. And so it's one of
or like me, if you don't realize she's a bot, you can just have a whole chat.
Yeah, that is fine, like it's just a normal person.
Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, I'm just I just realized that this one was a bit duplicated, and I'm looking at the time, so there is one section which is going to test your own knowledge about your own channel.
Oh god, okay.
So I will be asking you questions, you will give me your answer, and I will tell you if it's true or not.
This time there are right and wrong.
This time there is right and wrongs, and we can count points. But we don't have like anything that if it's too bad or not, so we can if you want, we can't if you don't want. So first question, do you know what days you are streaming the most?
I will go with Monday.
True, Mondays. Well done. Now we need a sound effect that should be like, I don't know, something. I'll set that up for the next one. But yeah, and following up on that, what days you're streaming the list? I need
Saturday.
2 days.
Oh, you need 2 days. Oh god. Then let's do Saturday and Wednesday.
True. Great. So you know your own channel. Okay. Now more around numbers. Okay. So what is the biggest average concurrent viewers you had in all your 4 years history? Average. That's where it's tricky.
I would guess maybe 250.
No. Do you want
No?
a second guess?
Tell me.
It's
No, I don't want to second guess.
okay. It's
Oh, no.
It's 95.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a big
It's
thing with average.
averaged.
It's average on days, so it usually it's not helping on this, but yeah.
No, that's good.
I mean, it is
I
pretty
wasn't
good.
sure if I didn't have like one of the random big rates, if that didn't make it higher, but 95 is nice.
My numbers might be wrong. If you can always challenge what I'm saying. I try to do my research, but again, I can be wrong. So there is one that I was quite surprised about, and this is how many games you streamed in total. And that, I would say, I was impressed.
I would guess it could be. I'm almost tempted to count them. Look, it was Gwent, it was Witcher 1, Witcher 3, Portia, Sandrock, Hades, Isaac, Detroit, It Takes Two. So that's 9. And I'm definitely for Baldur's Gate 10. So I think it could be 15.
So you're going to be surprised as well, I guess. It is based on my stats for yours. It is 68.
Oh my god!
68. So
What?
it is categories basically on Twitch, so we can count if you said IRL or just chatting would count as games, but it's still it would still be about 65 games. So
Wow.
yeah, it's quite a lot. Do you
I
know-
believe you.
Right, I mean, I believe the stats, but maybe I'm wrong again.
No, when you mention it, I did a lot of like looking at a game
Yeah.
like for an hour kind of thing, and I think that can
That counts.
rank up. Yeah.
Yeah, because when I was looking at it, because I found it was big, and so I looked it up, like all the games that you've played, and there is like plenty of them where you literally play 40 minutes an hour, stuff like this. So
Yeah.
it's a very short time, but still counts as game you've done live. So,
Makes sense. Wow.
do you know when is your oldest clips?
My oldest clip.
Yeah,
Maybe that's sometime in August 2020.
it is.
It is?
It is the 14th of August 2020. Now,
nice.
the question is, would you like me to share it?
Oh my god. Sure.
Okay. I needed to have your approval first, obviously. So I'm going to share my screen here, and so you can...
Do I have to watch?
That's a question. I can share my screen or not, if you want.
No, I can see it on the other monitor.
Okay, so here we go. This was 4 years ago, and I'm going to cut the music so we can have the sounds. And ready?
Dance around for the lack of time they have. What? Wait. Did you see that? Really? Man, what do I do? Wow. That was... Wow. Well, thank you very much. So they actually... Oh, they just gave...
What I can say...
I
around
won.
for...
It is a victory clip, which is good, which is very good. And what I like the most is that you still have the panel background. So
That one is the original one is still in Prague, and we bought this one from Amazon, so I have the same one.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was exactly the same, so but it is the same, right?
Yep.
Perfect. And now, what is the most viewed clip? Like how many views on one clip? Or not how many, but what is the most viewed clip?
I think it could be the one when I mispronounce any man
Yeah.
many times.
Yes. I watched it. I was like, "That's brilliant." I loved it. It was just perfect. Is that okay if I share it as well? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me grab this.
That one's
You
so
ready?
bad. I can't say it. Any man, I mean, how is he called? I know. Any man. No. Eminem.
Eminem. That was perfect.
I can't say it.
When I was watching it, and
That was
yeah, go on. Sorry.
no. That was the beginning of like me having the sound commands on stream. Because Chad was like, "You need to make this a sound command." So then I started clipping these specifically so that they can play it as well.
Okay, so you have a voice, like a sound command where we can hear any man. Okay.
If you go to my channel and do exclamation mark any man, it will play this sound. Yeah.
Perfect. So this one is great. I'm not surprised that it's one of yours on board now. Following up, do you know when
Yeah.
your first sub was?
I don't know.
I'd say a lot of things happen in 1 month.
So it would be August then, probably,
is.
right?
It is. I was
Yeah.
super impressed that a lot of things happen in the first month of your streaming. So
I think I made it to affiliate in like 3-4 weeks, maybe. It was quite, maybe like the first 2 months. It was quite quick.
yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it was for the first 3 weeks, and you got the 3 basically subs in August. It was most probably end of August. I couldn't find the names of those subs, so I was like, I wanted to ask you if you remembered who were the first subs of your channel, but I don't. If you do, feel free to share. But it's I was trying to find and couldn't find it.
For a long while, I had those people like in the info below, like, about me thing, but I don't really remember anymore. But I know that Lionheart is actually one of the people with the founder badge in my channel.
So most probably one
So
of the.
he must have been one of the very first.
It is the founder badge is for the 10 first, right? If I remember well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And last questions on your channel. Do you know in what top in viewership percentage you are on Twitch? Should I rephrase?
I know that
Okay.
we discuss this a lot with Matt, because a lot of the times we feel like I'm such a shit streamer, like I'm doing so badly, but actually I still believe that I could be like the top, let's say the top 5%.
You are definitely in the top 5%. Can you be more precise?
Okay. Top 2 then?
You are in the top 2, yeah. But you are even
Okay.
more precise.
Really? Okay, what am I then?
1.05%. So you're almost in the top 1%.
That's really nice.
Yeah. It's
I'll make it.
Yeah, I mean it's incredible when you look at the stats that it is hard to reach where you are. It's really that you are at the top end of streaming on Twitch. So for yourself.
I don't know if you guys know, but we have a very important part of my stream, which is cat head. That deserves a cat head.
Definitely.
That's where the emote is coming
Yeah,
from.
yeah, I
Okay.
was
The
looking at
emote's coming through, yeah. That's
it's perfect.
that deserves a cat head.
Yeah, I love that. And I think, Nico, you have the last bits for us.
Yeah, it's the last, I would say. question segment. I think you've had a lot of questions
Yeah,
today.
you did.
So this time it's like very quick questions. You have to answer with one word. Usually it's in the question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Okay. Cats or dogs?
Cats.
Good.
Okay. Favorite Twitch emote?
Cat hat.
Okay.
Playing safe.
Hamster or hamster?
Hamster.
Okay. Favorite game of all time?
Witcher.
Okay. Summer or winter?
Summer.
England or Czechia?
I'll go with Czechia.
Okay.
Don't seem convinced.
Difficult, but yes.
Favorite faction in Gwent?
Scoia'tael.
Okay. Best video game soundtrack?
Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah.
Yennefer or Triss?
Triss. Now I'm getting enemies in the chat, but
It was a very quick answer. So.
Gamescom or TwitchCon?
I have her tattooed. I can't change that answer, you know. Sorry, say again the last one.
Yeah, Gamescom or TwitchCon?
Gamescom.
Okay. Card games or RPG?
Both.
Not an option.
Witcher had both.
Not really.
I would say in-person card games and RPGs as a video game.
Okay. Okay. Last one. Fish and chips or English breakfast?
Fish and chips.
I'm
Okay.
just saying a thing.
You look very surprised.
What's wrong with English
No, I
breakfast?
think it's
The beans.
Just remove that, but everything else. Anyway, not fighting on it. And I'm
It was
French.
that was my opinion. You were not asked.
Sorry.
Wait for your own podcast.
True. No, I'm just on the judgment side. You know, I have my little box and I'm judging.
Makes sense. Yeah.
yeah, that's very British things to do.
French as well. So yeah.
Yes.
Fair.
Do you have any more, Jalab? Or did we?
No. It was the last one. Like it's some.
That was really
some
good. Thank you.
British passport readiness.
Yeah. So that's actually what we should have
I'll
done.
tell you if I use those. Yeah.
Have you looked at the
If you
full
had
book?
that kind of question.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Oh yeah, I would. If you want to have the British passport, you have to say tea over coffee. But it's
Fair. Yeah. Milk and sugar.
Yeah.
I'll work on that.
Yeah. It was like this video is going to be a warning for the British authority. So. No, but we I don't know if you
I'll
had
get a letter.
Yeah, in your mail, like, yep, nope, you're already getting rejected now. It's not possible. But I don't know if you had a look at the book yet, but it seems interesting to work out the rights for the exam, which I'm not looking forward
I'll
to.
wait. I'm preparing mentally first.
Yeah. Don't
I'm
forget,
not ready yet.
you have to pledge to the king as well. So,
Oh wow.
yeah.
Well, I still have 5 years to prepare for that, so
Fair enough. Just warnings. That's all. I think so. We're getting very close to the end, and that might be a good time. So if there is anyone in chat who had questions that they didn't had time to ask So GhostArya or Christina. So to at any other point, so if you wanted to explore any other subject, that would be the right time. And we will be closing very soon. So we've been in time. I was very afraid of how long we would do. I was trying to make sure that we keep in the 2 hours, because we know that we have a tendency to slide away, and at the end it's like, oh, it's been 3 hours. Oh, great. so yeah, no, I've been watching the clock for quite a while, but yeah.
But you guys did really well. You were very prepared. I appreciate that. That was really fun, and the time flew, honestly.
That's great.
Because I was like, wow, we can't talk about for 2 hours, but now I see that went really well.
You basically, we didn't lie. We were talking about you. That was the main element.
I like that.
That's obviously everyone. Like, you go, unless it's a roast, which I've been people reacting terribly, but I still don't understand roasting. But it's something. And
Alicia's really good at roasting.
She is, and she has been very mean to Jalab multiple times on many channels, which is where I mean, you suspected me to have put something in her code to put her mean towards you, which I never did.
Yeah, it's just funny that whenever you buys in the chat, she's nice to him, and whenever I'm there, she's just, nah, why are you here?
Yeah.
It's just fun. Teenage rebellion, She's just trying to figure it out.
Yeah. So she's switching, like, my preferred daddies is Yuba or it's Jalab, and so that's kind of what's happening. Yeah. So, anyway, it's I really wanted to thank you, because you also have been a very great support for us, and you kept up for all the weirdness of Alicia, the bugs, the overuse of emotes, and all of the different things that happened over the last year, which went through a lot of different crap while we were testing.
And all the commands, when she was making her own commands.
Yeah, the commands first version was very very strong. Yeah. So yeah.
I think
Nico.
The thing I remember is, shortly after TwitchCon, you had a stream where someone gifted a lot of subs, and she thanked every sub personally with one message.
I also remember.
Yeah. And that triggered us to work on how to not do that. So yeah. It's part of the very interesting element to get more people using it. Is the first people using Alicia, no one was getting 10 gift subs or more, so we never had the example of this being the case, and thank you for crash testing this.
Yeah, no worries, anytime.
Hopefully it won't happen again. So that's the main thing. So yeah. And if we don't have any questions, we'll be most probably moving on. Do we have someone to rate, Jalab?
Let me see who we should rate.
Yeah, I always put you
the
on
most
the spot.
difficult question of all streamers.
Yeah, it's every single podcast I'm ending it up no warning, and I'm just stopping by the way, who are we rating now, Jalab? And it's the same thing. And we have this same.
Usually, I am a bit more prepared.
Well, I will just fill the moment for you, Jalab, so you can keep looking. I just wanted to give a quick shout out and thanks to all my regulars who stopped by in the chat. Really appreciate it. I know a few people said that they will watch it later, so if you guys keep the VOD up, that would be great. And I really appreciate you, because like I've said, Alicia has been really fun to have around, and it's great to see how much work you guys keep putting into it. So I can't wait to see where she gets in a year,
Yeah, us too. We have a lot of different plans, which are actually getting together nicely, hopefully. So, I mean, we have good signs. Now we'll see. We'll be doing more communication soon. But yeah, stuff are coming soon.
I'll keep an eye on it.
Thank you.
We will post the full podcast on YouTube and some shorts as well. So
Yeah, it's
Everyone
usually a
will
bit
watch
delayed,
it.
so you'll have most probably a week or so on the Alicia's channel, and then after it's going to be on different platforms. But you'll see a lot of shorts with you on YouTube's, TikTok, Instagram.
That I'll never watch because I can't listen to myself. But I believe they will be great.
They will be.
I do the same.
In 5 years' time, we'll show you that for another podcast. And do you remember your first shorts?
Sounds good. Let's do that then.
Perfect. So
Perfect.
yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everyone, for coming today, and thanks also a lot from the people in the Alicia's community, even the French one, which I've seen some of them saying like, "Oh, we would have loved subtitles," which we will work on. I promise you, we will do that next time. And thank you for your community to be there, and we'll see you for another stream or another podcast. So have a great evening or afternoon, and we'll see you very soon. Bye bye.
You too. Bye. Thank you for having me. Bye.